They thought I couldn't hear them laugh. But I could. I always did. The dinner took place at one of those sleek rooftop spots, cold, showy, more about mirrors than views. Her company was throwing a celebration. Promotions, milestones, fake grins, and underlying treachery. Everyone was dressed in tailored suits. I stood motionless at the round table near the back. My place card sat beside hers. Only it didn't bear my name. It may as well have read Clueless Loser. Their laughter was deafening. Her colleagues, her boss, the one she used to call assertive but brilliant, even the interns, none of whom knew my name. Then came the chanting. Beggar, someone jeered. Another chimed in. Leech. They clinked their wine glasses like it was all a joke. And my wife. She let them. She leaned in close to her boss and whispered something that made him spit his drink mid-laugh. I didn't storm off. Didn't yell. Didn't shed a tear. I smiled, because I had waited half a year for this night. It wasn't always like this. 10 years ago, she used to trace the shape of my hands and say I had the touch of a man who builds futures. We started from scratch. I paid her way through her MBA while working back-to-back shifts. She cried when I proposed with a used ring. Said I was her world. Promised we'd build everything together. Then came the promotion. The designer clothes. The constant work dinners that lasted until early morning. She didn't think I noticed the unfamiliar cologne when she slipped into bed late, or how she tensed when I reached for her phone. She mistook my silence for blindness. Forgot I was observant. I always listened. The truth hit the night I picked her up from the airport. She said she was returning from a leadership summit in Dubai, but her bag still wore a Rome tag. She lied before I even asked. Told me her speech went great, then showed me a staged photo, complete with a botched timestamp. That night, I stopped being her husband and became a witness. Quietly, I began gathering everything. I installed a data recovery app on our shared tablet, the one she forgot to log out from. Emails, photos, and even a video of her and her boss, filmed in my garage, while she wore my hoodie. I dug up bank statements. Found a secret credit card in her name, funded by the company, covering their private getaways. She mocked me behind my back, but I moved silently behind hers. I hired a divorce attorney who specialized in corporate fraud and financial tracing. Then, I met with the company's board chair, an older man with sharp instincts and no patience for shady leadership. Told him I was simply a husband with concerns. He gave me his business card. I gave him the evidence. That dinner party, it was the finale. I arrived fashionably late, dressed in a plain black suit. No tie, no smile, just a flash drive in my pocket and a speech I'd practiced 100 times. They were mid-toast when I walked in. She looked startled, then masked it with a forced smile. Her boss slung his arm over the back of her chair like I wasn't even there. I took my seat, saw the name card, heard the snickers, and I waited. When the speeches wound down and the champagne had softened their edges, I stood, tapped my spoon to the glass. May I say a few words? The room quieted, not out of respect but curiosity. Even she looked entertained. I nodded to the board chair. I'm afraid I'll be ending 2 relationships tonight, one with this company and one with the woman I thought I knew. A hush swept through the crowd. I pulled out the flash drive and held it up like a medal. Contained here are several violations: financial misconduct, unapproved trips, and improper relationships between leadership and subordinates. Her boss squirmed. My wife turned pale. I faced the board chair again. I assume your company still honors its ethics policy. Or did that go missing sometime after Rome? A gasp cut the silence. The chairman stood. Security reacted swiftly. Her boss was out the door in seconds. My wife ran after him, voice cracking, makeup streaked. The board chair turned to me. We'll be in contact. I shook his hand. The fallout came quickly. She was suspended first, then terminated. Her profile vanished from the company's site within a day. Her boss was audited. His resignation conveniently leaked. As for me, I filed for divorce the next morning. Kept the house. Took half the assets. Everything legally hers, but emotionally mine. The last time I saw her, she stood on my doorstep. Eyes swollen, no makeup, no wedding ring. She murmured, "It was just a mistake." I looked her in the eye. "No," I said. "It was a choice." And then I shut the door. I sleep fine now. Because revenge isn't rage, it's control. Justice doesn't shout. It strikes precisely. They once called me clueless, worthless trash. But trash burns. And some things are better reduced to ash.